Good day, flying people of South Africa and all members of the South African Hang Gliding and Paragliding Committee. I thought I'd take a few minutes this morning and introduce myself briefly and state a little bit of my values and why I'm running for the position of SAHPA Chairman, or Accountable Manager as it's being called these days. I started paragliding on the 2nd of November in 2002. Quickly coming up to my 21st paragliding year birthday. It's been an amazing journey, a big part of my life. Next year I would have spent half my life flying and the other half was before I started flying. I do powered paragliding as well. I've not tried hang gliding yet, but I know hang gliders. I have hang gliding friends. I've flown all over South Africa and I've traveled a little bit, and it's an amazing thing, paragliding. I often think what what engages us into this flying thing, and I'm sure it's the same for many other disciplines, not just paragliding, but what is it about flight, and especially free flight, soaring, paragliders and hang gliders. And I think what I've learned over more than 20 years is that it probably comes down to a feeling of freedom. Freedom is crucial to our being as humans. I do not think that humans can operate for very long without freedom, and I don't think there is anything, definitely not much, that comes with true freedom as flight does, especially free flight, the way we do it. Paragliding is also not just about flying. For me, it's also been about the people over the years. My coach, Anthony Deer, has become a dear friend, and I've learned a lot from him, much more than just paragliding. He showed me what integrity and commitment looks like. I've had the privilege to get to know people like the late Andrew Smith, who showed me what a go-getter looks like. And Alan was probably the most prolific representative of our community to date. People still talk about Ant and the influence he had in Cape Town as a pilot and as a representative of paragliding and the powered form thereof. Andre Rainsford Alberts, Russell Achterberg, those competitive spirits, shows us what it looks like if you really put your mind to it, what you can do with this amazing game. I'm very privileged to be a friend of Phyllis, the great papa of the Cloudbusters. No doubt about his love and enthusiasm about paragliding. It doesn't take a word from him to persuade you. And the list goes on and on and on. I have friends who have been in paragliding for longer than I have. Pete Wallander, Jan and Kobe at Cloudbase, Cal Dyker, and many more. I've made a lot of new friends, people that I've recently met who I've learned to fly. And it's really a great community of people that you get to know and become friends with. And not everybody in the community are friends, but we have a mutual respect for each other. I've gotten to know some interesting characters, and although we do not always see eye to eye, we respect each other and what we do. If I think of what we are perceived as by the outside world, I think of what am I called by people when they first encounter me on a flying mission. When people walk up to you just after you've landed and you're packing your glider, what do they call you? Crazy, If you're standing on launch, getting ready, kiting your glider, and people come up to you like, "What are you doing, sir?" "I'm gonna go fly off this mountain." "Ash, you're crazy." When I'm hiking up a mountain with a big backpack and they find out I'm not going camping but flying, I called crazy, But you guys know, we are not crazy. We are different, but paragliders are the most calculated people I know. Some of the most intelligent and interesting people I've met. Our industry as a whole, the equipment we use, I battle to think that there's any other industry that goes to more effort despite the lack of money in it, you know, and technology, the safety standards, the certification processes, the innovation is just mind-blowing. Nothing crazy about it in any negative way. And you know, the reckless, crazy people who come into our sport, in my experience, don't stay there for very long. But unfortunately, the public perception of us is often as crazy, you know? And that's why we have an association like SAHPA, where we can elect representatives to represent our interests to the rest of the world who think us to be crazy. And you know, that's what I see when I think accountable manager. I think the term is often now, or the intention behind the term is to remind the person in the position that he's accountable for the pilots in this association. But I think the person in that position is accountable to the pilots in the community. I mean, when you take off, when you leave the ground in your paraglider, you know you are accountable for yourself. You know, the consequences of flying are real. You know, if you don't know that, you're not going to be here for very long. You take responsibility for yourself when you go flying, because you carry the consequences if you do stupid things. And you know, when we have representatives, they need to be accountable to those who take up this flying game that we do, and do it responsibly and make the effort to do it well. They need representation, and that's what an accountable manager is. He's accountable to his community. Yeah, watch this space. There'll be more videos coming, and there's only 3 days more left to go voting. Please go and cast your vote, read the manifestos, and call a friend if you don't know what to do. But do vote before the 30th of October when we have our AGM, and watch the space for some more info coming your way. Fly high.